Give this one.
You can do whatever you want. Right there is fine. Yeah, right there. It appears that we are on IST, Indian Stretchable Time. Anthuriums. Very nice. They grow a lot in Kerala. I was saying we are on IST, Indian Stretchable Time.
Stretchable is polite. Way of saying it.
Elastic time.
Reduces the stress a little bit. I tell you.
Mhm.
It reduces stress.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because then you're so tense.
Yes.
You're missing 2.5 minutes.
Yes.
Retention. Retention. Then they do it.
ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहने कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तकः केशवः पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलम् गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटम् नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितम् लोके सज्जन षट्पदैरहरः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयात् भारत पङ्कजं कलिमलप्रध्वंसि न श्रेयसे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः The nature of the eye is exactly in keeping with what you want to be. The nature of the Atma is what you want to be. You want to be compassionate, you want to be accommodative, you want to be whole, you want to not be the body mind sense complex. You don't want to have insecurities. You don't want to have any kind of guilt. You don't want to be subject to hurt. And whatever you don't want, the Atma is not that. Whatever you want to be, the Atma is exactly that. Now, there is a small piece of work. What is that? Walking the eye from being completely attached to, misidentified with the body, the mind, and the senses, back to this Satchidananda Atma. That is the journey. And it is an as though journey because the eye is already free, already whole, already contented, already compassionate. But yet, there seems to be a disconnect. That is why everybody wants Gita in daily life. We don't want philosophy, we don't want theory, we want the application of it. And no matter how much you tell people, the listening to it is the application of it. The removal of the ignorance of the eye is itself, that is what you need, is the solution. Because this is not something that is gained from karma. Karma is, only of four kinds. There can be only four kinds of karma. Things that are gained from karma, there can be only of four kinds. First is it is born. You generate something. Apyam, janyam. You generate something. For that you need karma. You generate electricity. For that you need karma. Then you have, some kind of a cleaning karma. There is a copper pot in your showcase at home, and then it looks like a mud pot. It doesn't look copper at all. Except when you look at it, there is a small little place where it still shines. That is enough to take a piece of tamarind and water and just nicely shine it up. Then you say, this is called samskaryam, a kind of a cleaning karma. Then you have the third kind of karma, which is modificatory in nature. Modifying karma, what is that called? Vikarya. Vikarya means like turning milk into yogurt. You take milk, put a little starter yogurt, keep it in a warm place, then what happens? Yogurt. It becomes yogurt. After that, you don't say, oh, I forgot to save some milk for my coffee. Come on, become milk again. It will not oblige. It is a final, the transformation is more or less final. So, janyam, samskaryam, vikaryam. And then final kind of karma is apyam. You go and get something. This glass of water is a little away from me. I have to stretch. And if I'm thirsty, I have to bring it close to my lips and drink it. And then put it back. So I have to go get the water. It is not with me. Which kind of karma are you going to use for the Atma? Which one out of these four? Huh? None of them. That is the answer. Look at it now. Janyam. Can you produce the Atma? No, because it is not a product. Oh, did Bhagavan make Atma? Bhagavan also did not make Atma because Atma is Bhagavan. So if Atma had a manufacturing date, then it would also have an expiry date. Because everything that is put together falls apart. Atma doesn't have a birthday and doesn't have a death day, not subject to death because it is not subject to birth and it is not manufactured, it is not a product. So this is not, the janyam, this kind of karma doesn't apply in order to gain the atma. Then what else shall we use? Samskaryam, the atma is very dirty. The raga dveshas have to be cleaned off. Can you do that? No, because the raga dveshas belong to the ahankara, belong to the ragi, belong to the dveshi. Ragi is not the grain, okay? We are not talking of that. So, so it belongs to the person who owns up the raga dveshas. It doesn't belong to the atma. Atma is free of raga dvesha. So what is there to clean? In fact, certain theologies like the Jain theology believes that Atma has to be cleaned. Atma gets dirty, but I think what they mean by Atma must be different. So it has to be cleaned. That doesn't have to be cleaned. It's always Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Atma. It's always clear, it's always clean, so there's nothing to clean at all. And so the two karmas cross, gone. What is the third one? Vikaryam. So you would make Atma into something like yogurt. You need something else to mix with the Atma. How many Atmas are there? One. You didn't have your coffee or what? I thought you just had your tea and coffee. One. So this one Atma doesn't mix with anything else because there is no other. It's secondlessly one. It is non-dually one. Doesn't mix with anything. So what are you going to mix with it? You need at least two things to mix and transform it to a third thing. But all there is Atma, Satyam. Oh, maybe I can mix it with Anatma. That's like you saying, I am going to a movie. And then your friend asks, who are you going with? I'm going with my friend. Who? I thought you were my friend. Who are you going with? I'm going with my shadow. We have booked 2 tickets. That's exactly the relationship between Atma and Anatma. Anatma is a shadow reality. Shadow reality. And so therefore, Vikaryam doesn't work. So I have to go get the Atma. Where is it? Somewhere in Vaikuntha, Kailasa. That also you cannot say. You cannot go get it because the go-getter, that is you, are the Atma. The one who gets it, wants to get it is the Atma. So there is no going, no getting, no coming back. It's already you. So you see the karmas fall short. There is no karma to gain the Atma because really speaking, it is not lost at all. Only if it is lost or if you can't find it, then you have to make some effort to gain it. Here, it is no effort at all. There is no effort in gaining it. Absolutely no effort. Why? Because it is already you. Oh, but I don't know it. Ha. Now we are talking the same language. You don't know that, I accept. Therefore, if you don't know and you are subject to self ignorance, what do you need to do? You need to know. Simple. Self ignorance has an antidote. What is that? Self knowledge. Self knowledge is the antidote to self ignorance. Nothing else. Absolutely nothing else. So, therefore, Gita Shastra, therefore, Moksha Shastra, therefore, Guru, therefore, Shishya, therefore, book, teacher. No, but then why do I need a teacher? I can just read it on my own. Yes, you can read it on your own. What will happen? You will get a headache. That's all. Like many of the Upanishad mantras, you read it on your own and then you really don't understand. That's why, just like we got this microphone, brand new microphone, the teacher is an amplifier of the Shastra. That's all the teacher does. The teacher just makes the Shastra loud enough, clear enough to hear. That's all the teacher's job. But without this, it is not possible to know. That is why we see in every Upanishad, the student goes to the teacher. Please give me this knowledge. Please help me see. This is what the whole thing is. This is how one comes to know. So therefore, the journey to Atma Jnanam is an as though journey. One gets minted as an as though disciple, going as though to a guru, and to remove the ignorance. Why don't you call it as though ignorance? I'm happy to call it as though ignorance because that's what it is. It's an as though ignorance because the Atma is free. It's you, it's whole. It is nothing to be gained outside of yourself, not at all. And so therefore, this is what, so the knowledge is the key. This is what Arjuna is told. The knowledge is the key. And then gaining this knowledge, one becomes Atma Jnani, an enlightened person. And who is this enlightened person? The enlightened person is one who is free of the complexes, free of sorrow, free of fear, free of all kinds of problems. Esha Brahmi Sthiti Partha. नैनां प्राप्य विमुह्यति स्थित्वा स्यामन्तकालेऽपि ब्रह्म निर्वाणं रिच्छति. Thus closes the second chapter after giving the whole vision of the eye. The Lord says the following. What does he say? He says that this is called Brahmi Sthiti. Brahmi Sthiti means that in which you abide. Brahmi Sthiti. Esha. Hey Partha, and gaining which one is not deluded. Brahmi Sthiti means this knowledge. Being in this knowledge, abiding in this knowledge, one is not deluded. Sthitva asyam. In this knowledge, being in this vidya, asyam vidyayam sthityam sthitva, then what? Sthitva, what happens? Brahma nirvanam richati, gains shanti, is not bothered about anything ever again. But then the, the inconvenient of the problem of the day-to-day life. I know I am Brahman, hey Guru. How do I become Brahman? You don't have to become, you already are. I know I am Brahman, oh Guru. Then what? How do I experience it? Whatever you experience is not outside of Brahman. Whatever you experience is Brahman. No, but I want a special Brahman experience. You know what? If you want a special Brahman experience, then Brahman will be limited. It will not be limitless because it will be again a special experience. And special experience means what is an experience? That which starts and that which comes to an end. That is what is called an experience. So if Brahman begins, at 5 o'clock and finishes at 6 o'clock, then you can say, I had moksha for 1 hour. When? During class. After I came out of the class, the moksha also went away. Is this the kind of moksha you want? No, absolutely not. You don't need this kind of a moksha. You need that which is forever, which should be always lasting. It should remove the ignorance attached to the self. And so what is lacking? Guru is there, Lord Krishna is there, and then Shishya is there, Arjuna is there, and the battlefield, of course, is there, and the teaching is there. What is lacking? The whole teaching was given in the second chapter. Everything was told. What is the Atma was told. How to live was told. What is yoga was told. We'll look into that. But what is yoga was told. Two definitions of the word yoga were talked about in the second chapter. In fact, the Gita Shastra could have very well happily ended on the second chapter. Why didn't it end? Arjuna has a question. That is why chapter 3 has to start. And what is the question? You say knowledge frees, karma binds. That's what you say. Knowledge is the way to freedom. Karma is bondage, because the more you do, then you do some more, and then you don't like the results of action, and then you do some more, and then you don't like what comes, and then you do some more, and you are in this chakra, kala chakra, samsara chakra. You say knowledge is what frees, and yet you stop me from going to Haridwar. You stop me from taking on orange clothes and sitting under a tree and avoiding this war. Ghora karma, he says. Tat kim karmani ghore ma niyojayasi keshava. Vyamishreneva vakyena buddhim mohayasiva me. Ekam tadvada nishchitya. Yena shreyah aham apnuya. Well, you're as though confusing me. I'm as though confused by your words. We should really learn how to talk from Arjuna. He doesn't tell the Lord, he doesn't tell his teacher, you know what, you're not teaching properly. You're confusing me. Buddhim mohayasi, eva means I'm not able to understand. I am as though confused because of my lack of understanding. Please explain. What is this connection between you asking me to go and fight this war, but at the same time you telling me, what are you telling me? Knowledge is the way to freedom, to moksha. Then why am I fighting this bloody war? Am I crazy or what? Or are you crazy? What is going on here? And this is what he knows. Most respectfully, he asks, why are you doing this? And the answer is very illuminating. And in the answer, Lord Krishna does not address the question directly. He says, Lokesmin dvividha nishtha pura prokta maya nagha jnana yogena samkhyanam karma yogena yogina. Pura, long ago, by me, maya prokta, it has been said. Bhagavad Gita is how many years old? At least 5,000. Okay. So long ago means what? Where are we going to look? Upanishad. We are going to look into the Upanishad because that is the primary text that the same Lord has given. And so Upanishad is the mother of the Bhagavad Gita. So Pura Prokta means elsewhere. Earlier I have said where? Ishavasya Upanishad. In the Ishavasya Upanishad I have mentioned this. Same thing. Tena tyaktena bhunjitha magridha kasya svidhanam. This I have told. What have you told? Two committed lifestyles I have offered to you. To you means to the jivas at large. To the confused jivas at large, I have offered two committed lifestyles. What are they? Tena tyaktena bhunjitha. The self is best enjoyed by giving up things. Punjitha here doesn't even mean enjoyed. Literally, it means enjoyed, but here protected. The self is protected by letting go. This is the first lifestyle. Protect the I from the so-called onslaught of the anatma, all the objects of raga dvesha. Protect the mind, protect the ahankara. And this is the first path, which is the path of sannyasa. You just drop everything because you are convinced this is the way to go. You don't look to the left, you don't look to the right, and you just go on, and you are only committed to knowledge. Full time study and teaching at the most. That's all you do, nothing else. So this is one lifestyle. What is the other lifestyle? Kurvan neveha karma ani jiji vishet chatagam sama aha. Kurvan neva karmani jiji vishet. May you live for 1,000 years. It's a blessing from the Upanishad. May you have a long life doing your karma, but at the same time exposing yourself in a committed way to this knowledge. If you're not ready to take sannyasa, this is the way, this is the second option. The second option is, yes, the Bhagavad Gita and the Upanishad that went before it recognizes that there are so many priorities. People want shanti in the marriage. People want good offspring. People want them to then be very well qualified and gain lots of fame and name and good things in life. People want to have a good time. People want to go out to eat. That's why this pandemic has been very difficult. Yeah, staying at home. I was talking to somebody and I said, maybe after this pandemic goes, nobody will want to go out. And that person said, speak for yourself. Don't speak for us. I want to go out yesterday. And I'm really upset that I can't go out. People want to go out. And people will take considerable risks to go out because this is, because this is obviously one is wanting. There is a desire to mingle. There is a desire for community. There is a desire to feel connected. There's a desire to feel appreciated. Somebody comes to your house and say, "Oh, you've made such wonderful food." Haha. Outside you'll be saying, "Oh, it is all Bhagavan's grace." Inside you'll be feeling very happy. Yes, happy. Very nice. You want to be appreciated. You want to be loved. You want to feel a sense of connection. Sometimes even a little competition thrown in there is nice because it gives you a little impetus to gain what you want. All this is there. And then there are so lot of desires, a whole lot of desires. I want this, then I want this, then I want this, then I want this. So much so that when you go into the temple and stand in front of Bhagavan, you don't know what to ask for first. There's a tsunami, a cascade of desires that comes. Protect this one is not well, heal that one, and make this one live longer, and do this to that one. So many things. And yes, money always is welcome. And I want this, I want that, I want. In front of Bhagavan, one is a bunch of wants. And so all these desires are there. And yes, I also want a little bit of moksha. Little bit, a tiny bit of moksha. Little bit of moksha thrown as a, what is that called? Seasoning. Tadka. Yeah, seasoning. After in Indian cooking, make it and then you put a little bit of oil and then mustard seeds and some curry leaves, all these things. And then you wait till it pops and splutters. And then you put it over the sambar or whatever you're making, chutney or anything. Then it is seen as, very nice. So the moksha should be like that. A little afterthought after you've had everything else and everything is done, and it should just be the cherry on top of the cake. So the moksha should not be strenuous. It should not make me miss anything. It should not make me miss the comfortable life. It should not make me miss my movies and balls and malls, all these things. The people who've been studying with me for some time know how to spell mall. How to spell mall? Maul. Where you go to get mauled of your pocketbook and your sanity. How do you spell ball? Bawl. Where you go and cry. That's all it is. This is the sum total of the person's interest. The interest is there, but that interest is along with a whole lot of other interests. competing interest, because everything competes with the desire for moksha anyway, because in fact, there is only moksha. That's the only desire. What do you mean? You just said earlier dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Yes, I did say that. But that is for people who want to count four and who are comfortable in numbers. They're not happy when you tell them there is only one Purushartha and that is moksha. No, what do you mean? I am interested in this, I'm interested in that. So many desires are there. You cannot say there is only one desire. That's why the Shastra also goes along with the human ignorance and says, theek hai, let it be four. Okay. You want five, you can keep five also. But really speaking, if you look carefully, whatever you want is not what you really want. That's why whatever you get, you want to then return it. In America, we have this concept of garage sale. So whatever they don't like, first is in the living room, then is in the family room, then is in the laundry room, and laundry room is right next to the garage. Then it is in the garage. Then afterwards, they get a bright idea 6 months later. What is that? Oh, we should have a garage sale. Everything they take out of the garage, they put some flyers in the neighborhood, and then, whatever they don't want, they sell. My trash is your treasure. That is the motto of the garage sale. And then what do they? They leave some price. And then the neighbors are very obliging. They all come and buy and they help you get rid of a few things. So like this, when you, because whatever you buy, whatever you accumulate, whatever you hoard is not what you really want. That's why it ends up in the garage. That's why it ends up, gifted to somebody else. That's what people do with presents anyway. They look at it, oh, I already have a statue of goddess Durga. I'm going to give it to somebody else. Make sure you don't gift it to the same person who gave it to you. Awkward. Yeah. Then it will be a little awkward, to say the least. But that's not what you want. Those are all fillers. Fillers means, just like you put in the dentist puts in the cavity. That's what it is. It is a filler. It doesn't make you purna. It just makes you feel good for 4 hours, 5 hours, 4 days, 5 days. Maybe a year. Again, after that, hankering, seeking. This is what it is. And so anything you say in life that this is what I want, we can easily see that that is not what you really want. I want marriage. No, you want a sense of security that you think can be gained from marriage. Yes. And that is really what it is. Somebody to call your own. That is what you want. Somebody to give you companionship till you die. That is what you want. And and then if you ask more questions, why do you want the companionship? The answer will come because I am lonely. Why are you lonely? Because I don't know myself. I don't know that I'm glorious and I'm the only thing that there is. It's fine to say I am only. Don't say I am lonely. There's a very big difference. Only means kevala, kaivalya. Lonely means, ayo, I'm afflicted. Anything you want. You don't want the marriage, you want the forever. You don't want children for the children's sake, you want the forever. You don't want the job for the job's sake, you want forever. That's why when somebody says, oh, my son got a job, my daughter got a job, they're telling their neighbor, the neighbor will say, is it permanent? Ah, you want permanence. That is moksha. You want permanence, you seek permanence. You don't seek the things. Somehow, due to Atma Ajnanam, you think the finite things that you pursue can produce the infinite. This is so sadly wrong, because that which is finite can never produce the infinite, because the infinite is not a product, it is what it is. If you take infinite minus 1, how much is it? Infinite. Infinity minus 2, infinity. Infinity plus 1, infinity. That infinity is you. It has to be understood. But here we are with a whole lot of clamoring desires, like a cupboard that is so full that you can barely close it. And then you open it, it all falls on you. That is how it is. The whole desires are stuffed there in the heart. What to do? This is why Yoga Shastra is given, that prepares one to have the knowledge of moksha. And if the first lifestyle, abandon everything and go and study in an ashram and gain this knowledge, a long-term study in the ashram and gain this knowledge, if that is the advice, the first path is not for the faint-hearted, very difficult. You can't do anything. This is all there is. And so therefore, that is what is, we can call that Moksha Express. Okay. In terms of, like in India, we have various kinds of trains. Moksha Express, Moksha Bullet Train. And then this one, the one that we are currently discussing, is the Moksha Passenger Train. If you want to go from Bangalore to Chennai or Coimbatore, only a few hours away. You don't need the whole night. But then many people think it's kind of relaxing. You just sleep on the train and then wake up in the next morning, you're already there. But then it will stop very, very frequently. It will stop numerous times, and it will stop for a long, long time in each station. First station is what? No, childhood. First stop. I want my toys. The child throws a tantrum in the front of the toy shop, holds the mother and father hostage. I want this now. I want this right now. Give it to me. Childhood, first station. Teenage, next station. There you get lost and you have to be brought back from somewhere by the parents. You harass the parents in the teenage because you yourself don't know where you are and what you're doing. And then after that, youth. Then somehow you think you are settled down, but you're still young and restless. There was some soap opera also by that name. And you're restless. You're seeking more and more and more. This itself, youth itself is a stop on the train. Then what? Marriage, a very important stop, especially in an Indian marriage, because you don't marry the person, you marry the entire village. You have to adjust to so many people. You have to adjust to a lot of people, so many people you have to adjust to. And you marry the whole clan. And you have to accommodate everybody's egos. Marriage is an important stop because all these is leading to growth. Childhood leads to growth, and adulthood leads to growth. Gaining a job leads to growth because it gives discipline. You're not at home getting up whenever you want and eating what you like. You have to be present physically and on time. And you can't do so many things. And so, therefore, you have to be very much here, very much disciplined. You have to produce and greet and meet the deadlines. You have to produce more than others, otherwise, they kick you out. So, that is a very important way of gaining certain discipline that is needed for this knowledge. Then, marriage, of course, is there. And when the children come along, it's a great blessing because they help your spiritual growth. by pushing all the buttons you did not even know you have. That is what the children are. They have a secret locator, GPS, where they know all the parents' buttons, how to manipulate, how to make them say yes, how to guilt trip, how to get what they want. They know all this. They can write a PhD thesis on this, especially when they are teenagers. How to bargain, and then if they say, oh, what is this? You're coming dressed like this? This is more holes than jeans. The parent is aghast. and, and the teenagers will say, okay, I will change, but in return, I want to do this. And you have to let me. A very important stop. And then so many things are a stop. They're all stops along the way. Along the way to what? Moksha. It's illustrated very nicely in the form of, going to airport. Why do you go to the airport? To catch a flight. To catch a flight, you go to the airport. Let us say you are worried about the traffic, you go very, very early. And then what happens? You have some time. Then you say, oh, I have some dry cleaning in the car. I will stop. And then take this to the dry cleaners. Dhobi. I'll take it to the dhobi. I have some time. So when you're at the dry cleaners, where are you going? Why is it taking so long? I'm getting worried. Yeah. Yes. And then you at next to the dry cleaners, there's some nice snack shop, and nowadays they don't give anything on the plane. You're going to you say, okay, I'll go into this shop and buy something to eat. As you're going to the shop, where are you headed? Airport. Airport. Where else? Airport. You don't go into the shop and do your groceries for another week because you're not going to be there. You're going to the airport. Then you find you're still early and you have a friend who lives near the. Ah, very good. And then so you call the friend up and you call them up and say, I'm coming. Are you here? They say, yes, yes, just come here. In fact, you can give up the cab. I'll take you to the airport. So the whole time, when you're shopping, when you're dropping off your laundry, when you are visiting your friend, where are you headed? That is Karma Yoga. Oh, Karma Yoga means I'm going to the airport. No, Karma Yoga means you're going to whatever is symbolized by the airport. Airport is moksha because you take off. That's why it is airport. That's the place from where you take off from a life of sorrow and samsara, and therefore it is called airport. But really, it is just the airport is a symbol. So you go everywhere. You have all your desires fulfilled, but your sights are moksha. This is karma yoga. Then if he says, then if Arjuna asks, Jyayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhir janardana tatking karmani ghore mam niyojayasi keshava व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन बुद्धिं मोहयसीव मे तदेकं वद निश्चित्य येन श्रेयोऽहमाप्नुयाम्. Jyayasi chet, which is better? No? What? Which is better means what? Is the karma yoga the two paths you have given? Which is better? Is karma yoga path better? Slowly, slowly, I will just, let moksha grow on me gradually. Or is the direct plunge better? Or should I put my toe into the water a little bit and see the temperature, and then put another toe and then one foot in the water? Like this, should I go? Which is better? What is the answer? Huh? The answer is in the form of a question. If somebody came to you and said, should I finish my high school degree SSLC, it is called in India. Or should I do a PhD? That is the comparison between school leaving certificate, which is the high school degree, as a not degree, diploma. Should I finish high school and get the school leaving certificate, or should I do a PhD? So the school leaving certificate is Karma Yoga, PhD is Jnana Yoga. What will you advise this young person who comes to you? What will you say? You cannot get a PhD without this. One is contingent upon the other. You cannot do this. There is a relationship between the two. You cannot say, if it is Jnana Yoga, if Jnana is important, if knowledge is important, I should be studying. Why am I not studying? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? Why am I going everywhere? There is a famous story. One man came to Ramana Maharshi and said, what did he say? He said, well, my children are grown up, daughter is married, son is also married, and they are all settled nicely in the jobs. And I would like to, I have settled my children and everything, and I have retired, I have taken retirement from my job. Do you think it's a good idea to take sannyasa? And Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi said, I don't think so. The man got very angry. The man said, what do you mean? Look at you. Isn't it true that you cut your tuft of hair and you threw away your sacred thread in this, Tiruvannamalai temple tank, and you came out of it, and then you just wore a towel and came out of it, and this is how you are. You took sannyasa. How dare you tell me I can't take sannyasa? The man was very angry. Very calmly, the Maharshi replied, yes, my dear sir, all that you allege is true. There's only one difference. I didn't ask for anybody's permission or validation. I didn't ask for anybody's validation. That is what it is. Oh. So, this Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga, they are connected. One is the preparation, Karma Yoga is the preparation, and what we call Atma Jnanam is the fruit, is the result of the preparation. The more one excels in this yoga, the greater is this. The easier is the gaining of Atma Jnana. But the truth is, everybody wants to bypass Karma Yoga. One wants to get knowledge straight away. Because why? It is all a waste. People tell me this always. So you are, one teenager came and said, the teenager was sitting in another class, something like this that I was teaching. And then the teenager said, so marriage, then you give up. Education, whatever you've done, you give up. And then children, they grow up and they give you up before you can give them up. And then, so what's the point? Why should I do all this? Why not go straight away for knowledge? It is like that story of the man who went to a restaurant, and he didn't know the dialect. He just said, will this place fill my hunger? And the people thought it was so strange. Some kind of a strange fellow has, that cat has dragged this in, this kind of a strange fellow. What do you mean? Of course, this is a place to eat. Of course, it will fill up your hunger. Just come sit down. What do you want? He came at an odd time. He did not come at lunch or at dinner or at tea time, some kind of an odd time. What do you have? He said. Vadas and sambar. Vadas means some kind of fried fritters. And so, will this fill my hunger? Yes, yes. And they brought one plate. He ate it. And then what? Gave me the next one, another one. Ate the next plate. And the next. And the next. How many now? 4. And the next. And the next. And the next. 7 plates of vadas and 1 liter of sambar sloshing around in his tummy. Then he goes, it was like a diner, you go to the cashier and pay. It was not like a sit down restaurant where they come to you. You go, and as you're going out, there is a little counter and you pay there. Then he pays the price of one vada and gets out. The manager is shocked. That's why there are two gundas always with him for such occasions. And they go out and catch the fellow and bring him back. Hey, we saw you. You had 7 vadas and you're paying only for the first one. You're only paying for one. He says, yes. Why? You polished all of them. He said, you know what? All of you, I asked you if this place is going to fill my hunger. You said yes. The first vada was useless. I was still hungry. Second vada, I was still hungry. Third, still hungry. Fourth, still hungry. Fifth, still hungry. Sixth, still hungry. Seventh vada, it filled my stomach. That's why I'm paying for the seventh vada. So that, this is exactly Karma Yoga. This story illustrates Karma Yoga very, 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 very well. And why does it illustrate? Because everything contributes to the growth, whether we like it or not. Marriage, children, so many things, job, work, everything contributes. Contributes to making a person Shanta. Shanta means calm, free of fear, free of pain, relatively cheerful. Gains what is called sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. Gains the preparation. Sadhana chatushtaya means 4 kinds of qualifications, 4-fold qualifications. Through leading a regular life, one gains these qualifications, provided that dharma is up front and center. Without dharma, there is no yoga at all. No yoga at all. So one gains viveka, discrimination. At some point, it comes, the understanding comes. I'm always running after the finite, but I really want the infinite. What's wrong with me? This is viveka. Nitya vastu viveka. Then that viveka makes the muscles strong enough for the next qualification, vairagya. In fact, both go together. Viveka strengthens vairagya, vairagya strengthens viveka. Vairagya is dropping those things which do not further the desire for the infinite. The desire to know myself, the desire to be free. It doesn't further. So therefore, I am not going to go after it. This is vairagya. Then we have mumukshutvam, tivra mumukshuta or mumuksha. What is this tivra mumuksha? Tivra mumuksha means strong desire to be free of always pursuing the finite, but yet wanting the infinite. This is the mix-up. This is called mumuksha, the desire to be free, which has to be converted into jignyasa, the desire for knowledge, self-knowledge. Then what is the fourth one? The fourth is actually a 6-pack. Okay. Yeah, it's a group of 6. Shama, a resolved mind. Dama, a resolution and calming down the organs of action from being reactive. Uparati, letting go of the small stuff. Not trying to micromanage and control everything. Just let it go. Let it be. Because the more you try to control, the more you are controlled by your own sense of control. People who are controlling are the unhappiest people because nothing goes their way. Nobody listens to them. Everybody does whatever they want. Okay, for a little while they can beat and browbeat people into listening to them, but are they happy? Never. They are the most miserable people. The more you control, the more miserable you are. This is Uparati. Then we touched upon the next one yesterday, Shraddha. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. Shraddha is open-mindedness for the teaching. Open-mindedness. Receptivity for the teaching is called Shraddha. Reverentially receiving what the teacher is teaching, is that receptivity is directed against the Shastra and towards the Shastra, towards the teacher. Because without the teacher, the Shastra does not unlock itself. And that's why the receptivity is needed. And the Shastra is needed because the Shastra is a means of knowledge to know that which you cannot see, which you cannot hear, which you cannot touch, which is not palpable, which is not an object. So therefore, the Shastra is a pair of eyes for you to see the self that has no form. And that is all that is you. You know you are. That is all that is there about the I. Satchidananda I. So the Shraddha becomes very, very, very important. And then Samadhanam, single-minded focus. As we talked about in the airport example, there is the example of single-minded focus. No matter where you go, you're headed for moksha. So all the life experiences should and often do give opportunities if one is ready to take them to teach Viveka and Vairagya. Shamadamadi, Shatka Sampattihi, these sixfold, Shamadama, etc. You ask any married person, somebody came to me celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary. They said, "Oh, we have come to receive your prayers, wishes." And I said, "What have you learnt after being married for so long?" And they said, "I cannot change him." She I can, she said, and he said, "Oh, you've been trying to change me? I have also been trying to change you. I cannot change you." This is great, Viveka. Very good. And the Vairagya is letting go of the attempt to change. That's why Indian marriages are like that. You don't, at least the traditional marriages, you just put your faith in the stars. We also dated, but the horoscopes dated in the astrologer's house. Yeah, and got to know each other. Horoscopes means Bhagavan. It is Ishvara. And then somehow these two people are thrown together. Maybe they hate each other, but you would never know. They raise a family. They don't get along at all sometimes, but you never know. And then you see them as a successful couple, and they have raised a family, and they are fine, but they have nothing to say each other. And very interestingly, it does not bother them even the slightest. Most of the time, it does not bother them. You think about your own grandparents. Grandmother would never have said to the grandfather, "I think we need to work on this marriage." This never. This is not what you would say at all. And the grandpa would not say, "You don't have any time for me." Nobody does. In fact, it was not expected that they would have time for each other. He had his own friends. They would go for a walk, or they would play cards, or read the newspaper together, or whatever it was. She had her own friends, and she did whatever she wanted to do. And then they would perhaps meet at lunchtime, and then they would just acknowledge each other. "Oh, you're still alive. Okay, good." Yeah. This is a successful marriage. Why? Because the successful marriage is that which is gracefully outgrown. You have to outgrow it. An outgrown marriage is a successful marriage where you no longer have expectations of each other, because you know very well they are unfulfilled and unfulfillable. And besides, you have grown as a result, not to rely on those expectations. Certain things in you have come out so that you are much more self sufficient. You are much more matured emotionally, spiritually. You have made friends with Vedanta. You have made friends with Bhagavad Gita. That is, that is where you go for companionship, and she will never disappoint. She will never not show up because she's always with you. In fact, she is the outpouring, the sum total of your own swarup. And so this is how it is. All relationships are outgrown. That is how it was. That's why the married couple could proceed to Vanaprastha, where they lived, silently like sadhus, even without talking to each other. From there only the sannyasa comes. That was the last ashrama. Studenthood and married lifehood, and then what? Grihastha, then Vanaprastha, repairing to a wooded area. This is what it is. This is a weekend Vanaprastha. And then, then afterwards, finally, even giving up the need for that. And this is how one grows carefully, slowly. Because if you allow life, life itself is the guru. Life is an important guru. Every relationship is a teacher. Every friendship is a teacher. Every sandarbha, every circumstances in which you feel caught, in which you feel like you don't know what to do, in which you feel completely defeated, like Arjuna did even before he went to battle, is a teacher if you allow it. And to allow it, one must want it. One must definitely, very, very badly want it. That want has to be cultivated, fanned. And this is what it is. Yatha deepo nivatastha nengate sopama smrita. This example is given. Lord Krishna says, one must guard this mumukshutvam like a lamp in this wind. The wind blows, and this tiny flicker of, I think I want moksha, dies even before it is able to shine its light. So you protect it. You protect it from all other influences. You protect it from various, various and difficult and, uh, temptations, difficulties, binding desires. All this you protect, you keep it protected so that you are on track. You have already put the GPS, moksha. So even if you go somewhere else, it will say recalculating and take you back. That's what it will say. Recalculating. And so this is how, one grows slowly. And this is what is called Yoga Shastra. And in the Bhagavad Gita, there are three definitions of yoga. Three definitions of yoga. The first two occur in the second chapter, and the third one occurs in the sixth chapter. We'll be looking at these three definitions, and especially as it pertains to yoga in daily life, Bhagavad Gita in daily life. So, what is the first definition? Samatvam yoga uchyate. Siddha siddhyau sabau kritva samatvam yoga uchyate. Yoga uchyate. It is said to be yoga. What? Samatvam. Equanimity. Equanimity is yoga. What is this equanimity? Equanimity with what? Sameness. Sameness means what? I do the same thing every day? No. Actions vary. You can't do the same thing every day. Even if you do the same thing every day, can you produce the same results every day? No. Every day you make rice, but one day it is soft, one day it is a little different. There are some differences. One day it is sticky. So where is the samatva? It is in the ability to receive with equanimity the results of action. Samatvam is not with regard to karma, it is with regard to karma phala. That is where samatvam shines. That is where samatvam is. So I have to just be like a rock. If something happy happens, I have to say, yeah, it did. Because I have samatvam now. So, you got you got a promotion. Okay. Hello, your wife died. Okay. So, is this samatvam? That's not the idea. It's not the idea at all. Samatvam is not that you become de-animated and like a zombie, like a robot. Samatvam means more or less, more or less. You make yourself okay, more or less. How to become more or less okay? Well, this again goes back to, I told you there are 4 kinds of karma earlier. And likewise, there are 4 possible outcomes of each karma. Each action can have only 4 outcomes, and those 4 you have to learn to manage. First outcome, the outcome is better than your expectations. Yippee! Fantastic! You're going to cross the road. You want to cross the road to catch a bus. And then what? You cross the road, and then your friend drives up in a nice air-conditioned car on a hot, sunny summer's day. Oh, where are you going? I haven't seen you in a long time. Come, come, sit. You sit, and then you go. And then what? You come, I'll drop you wherever you want. Let's have coffee. And your wonderful day. Suddenly, your mediocre day turned very lucky and wonderful. Outcome better than your expectation. And then what? The outcome less than your expectation. Less than your before that, outcome equal to your expectation. You cross the road, you catch the bus. Finish. It's exactly what you expected. It's exactly what happened. Third scenario, story of everyone's life. Cross the road and miss the bus. Especially in India, it's easy to do. You make eye contact with that fellow in the back, conductor. You say, I'm coming, I'm running. And as you run, the conductor, is also has power in small areas and wants to use it. As you run it, the bus is still stopped, still stopped. As you're about to climb it, he says, ting, ting, and the bus goes away. Cross the road, miss the bus. Outcome, slightly less than your expectation. Then what is the fourth scenario? I was crossing the road. Dot, 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 dot. Then what happened? I lost consciousness. Then I came to. And then what? Everybody is talking in hushed tones. And loved ones are all gathered around me. And various yantras are beeping, blood pressure yantra, this yantra, that yantra, beep, beep, beep. That's the only noise. And I open my eyes and ask some fundamental spiritual questions. Who am I? Where am I? What for I'm here? And then they say, you are in the hospital. Oh, was I run over? Not at all. In fact, you were a very good citizen. You looked to the left. There was no traffic. You looked to the right. There was no traffic at all. Then what happened? It was an Indian road. Somebody had thrown a banana peel. Not very appealing. And over this banana peel, you had a instant skating lesson that went wrong. And you fell down, lost consciousness. broke a bone or two. The outcome here is opposite of what my expectations are. This is all that one has to manage, only these four kinds. The first two, if you manage, the other two are easy to manage. But when the outcome is greater than your expectation, and when it is equal to your expectation, if you hit the ceiling, there is a long way to fall when it does not go in accordance to your wishes and wants. So, the first step in Karma Yoga is managing the outcomes of the actions. How do you do that? There is actually step by step primer in the Bhagavad Gita to attain samatvam. First step is no, you are not the actor. What do you mean I'm not the actor? Well, you are not. No, but I did this. Anybody who says I did this, really, they have to have their head examined. Because think of all the things that came into play. Your parents can say, if I didn't give you this body, how could you have done this? The significant other can say, if I didn't do all these things to keep up the house while you were writing this book, how could you do this? You couldn't do this. The children can also say, you neglected me for all this time that you were writing this and going here and going there. So everybody has contributed. How can you say you did this? No, but it is my buddhi. You sat and made the buddhi in a pot. You cooked up the buddhi. No, I was blessed with it. Aha. So buddhi also doesn't belong to you. Buddhi also belongs to Bhagavan. Everything is given. There is no such thing called a self-made man. Very dangerous terminology, self-made man. Self-made man will always have some stories. I went to America with only $10 in my pocket. And then I had only two sets of clothes. One was hanging in the tree, one dhoti and angavastram hanging on the tree, and the other one was on my back. Every day, one day I had dal and rice, and the next day I had rice and dal. That is how I live. And then I studied under the street light. I'm a self-made man. Terrible kind of a person to have as a father, because that person is jealous of their own children. Hey, you are enjoying so many things. I had only $10. So what? You have given us more. Let us enjoy. No. Gets very upset and envious of his own children. No such thing called self-made man. No, but what about studying under the street light? Street light was given. One day he would have looked up something, but then that is the memory all the time, telling everybody. So, street light to study was given, buddhi to study was given, books were donated by some other rich family, given, admission in school, college, given, money to pay the fees, given. It's all given. You can't claim anything here. Therefore, in the tradition, it is so much there. Anything you praise, you say it is all God's grace, Guru's grace, elders' grace. This is how we talk. And it's a very, very healthy way to look at it, so that one does not think of oneself to be the actor. Then who is the actor? Bhagavan is the actor. You drag in Bhagavan as a proxy actor. That is what the Lord tells Arjuna in the 11th chapter. Nimitta matram bhava savyasachin. Savyasachin means, I told you all these epithets that the Lord calls Arjuna are very, very educative. Savyasachin means ambidextrous. You can shoot, Arjuna could shoot the arrows with the right and the left hand indiscriminately, with equal finesse and sophistication. He didn't have a dominant hand. Ambidextrous. And so why is he being called Savyasachin? You think you are a doer. You think you can do with your left hand and right hand and you are so skilled. Hey Sabhyasachin, nimitta matram bhava. Just be an instrument of my doing. Even in the Bible, there is some such sentence. Be an instrument of Bhagavan's doing. Be an instrument. You are not the doer. We go as far as to say, Bhagavan is doing this. I am not doing this. Bhagavan is arranging this. But then if you do something badly, you cannot say Bhagavan did this, okay? This is just an exercise to gain some maturity and to let go of the burden of doership. Bhagavan is the actor. First point of gaining samatva. First point. And what is the second point? When the karma phala comes, whether the karma phala is in keeping with your expectation, whether it exceeds your expectations, whether it is less than your expectations, or whether it is opposite of your expectation, you learn to receive it as prasada. Prasada. Everything is prasada. Prasada cannot be translated in English. A gift from God. That is the best we can do. This is prasada. In fact, we take everything as prasada. Whatever comes is prasada. Sometimes the prasada is sweet, sometimes it is bitter. You go to a temple, one day, lucky day, they give you a big laddu. Laddu means ball of calories. Okay, you give you a big laddu. Like in Tirupati, famous, very big laddu. You get a big laddu, you come home dancing, and you're so happy. You feel favored by Bhagavan. Bhagavan really gave me what I want. Next week you go, there is nobody to even give you tirtha water. You have to take it yourself and drink and come back. What a letdown. But that is also prasada. This is also prasada. It's all prasada. And this is the key to gaining equanimity. So in fact, even children are prasada. There are many people who are named prasada. This is what it is because we know very, very well. Children are a gift of Bhagavan. Everything is a gift of Bhagavan. And it's a healthy way to parent because then the parents are not stressed out. Oh, this child is an extension of me. It should behave in this way. No, it is prasada. Bhagavan will take care of it. It is prasada. And it's very good to take children as prasada, the house that you live in as prasada, significant other as prasada. Sometimes you can say prasada, but nonetheless prasada. Sometimes you can say prasada, but still prasada. It's still prasada. And that is the key. Because why that is the key? Because you don't produce the result of actions. There's a famous verse in the Bhagavad Gita. What is that? Karman eva adhikaraste ma bhaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbhuhu ma te sangostva karmani. Karmani eva adhikarahate. You only have a say over your action. You have some free will, some action you can do. You can decide how to act, how much to act, when to let go. Perhaps you can make these decisions. Ma phaleshu kadachana. You do not have any say over the results of action. Results of action are gift wrapped and given to you by Bhagavan. So what is my role in the result of action? Nothing. Bhagavan says, okay, since you're crying so much, you can put a finger on the gift box when I tie the string. You ask somebody to put a finger so that it is not loose. And when you try a bow, that's all it is. You don't know what's in the box. It's called Prarabdha box. The box of prasada that you are supposed to exhaust in this lifetime, the particular kinds of karma called prarabdha, prak arabdham karma, prarabdham karma. This is what it is. And so, and then how do I open this box? You don't worry about opening it. It has a combination lock. It will open every day when Bhagavan wants. And then when it opens, I quickly take a look. It has two compartments, Papa and Punya. Punya means comfortable situations in the here or the hereafter as a result of doing actions connected to Dharma. Papa means the uncomfortable situations that one finds oneself in here and the hereafter because of going against Dharma. That's all. The suitcase will, the box will just open itself. And the contents, little by little, they are given to you to experience. This is exactly why the Lord says, you are not the doer. You are better to take yourself not as the doer, because you are the doer, but you don't get the results of action according to you. I decide. I am the one who decides. Oh, then why should Bhagavan sitting somewhere decides? Bhagavan sitting somewhere does not decide. Bhagavan decides when, how? Bhagavan decides based on your own karma. Your own karma. Bhagavan just recycles it and gives it back. All these plastic bags which are a menace. Somebody started a, what is that, Griha Udyoga, like this self-help group for women and young children to come and weave some mats, bags, some kind of things out of the plastic bags. Very, very nice. So that is what Bhagavan does. Your own kachda, your own papa karma comes back to you. Your own punya karma, you are again blessed with. You cannot say, like the man who had heartburn, he ate a lot of chili peppers because he was in a chili pepper eating contest. And he ate 25 chili peppers, red, hot chili peppers. And then he thought, let me eat some ice cream. So then he ate a lot of ice cream. Still he had heartburn. And he said, come on, ice cream, where are you? Why am I only experiencing the chili peppers? Doesn't work like that. So therefore, you don't control the results of action. We have to understand that. Why do you not control the results of action? Because the results of action, between you and the result of action, there are hidden variables. That's why the man crossing the road looked to the left, looked to the right, did not see the hidden variable in the form of the banana peel, organic, lying on the road. So this is why one has to understand this properly. This is why this Karma Yoga is so important. The hidden variable is not a mandate of Bhagavan, it's a manifestation of Bhagavan. Hidden variable is in the form of Bhagavan. And therefore, it is easy to miss it because you cannot control it, you don't know what it is. Therefore, you are allowed to just pray. And that will be the next topic, we'll take it up. We can pray to neutralize some difficult karmas. You can pray for what you want. And because you're trying your best to have a certain outcome that is not coming at all. And so this way, this prasada buddhi, and knowing that you are not the author of action, knowing that you do not produce the result of action, goes a long way to gain some sanity. More we'll see in the classes tomorrow. And since it's raining, shall we just have satsang now? Maybe it will stop by that time. Yeah.
We won't be able to go.
Yeah, we won't be able to go. So instead of coming up, coming down, we'll have satsang now and then we will close it. Okay. Yeah. I'm just going to close this here and then we will